Have you ever stopped and asked yourself this one simple question? If something happened and I could not help my parent for a few days, could someone else step in? Not forever, not perfectly, not in the exact same way I do things, but could someone step in just enough to keep things moving? That question may sound small, but it can open your eyes quickly because sometimes we do not realize how much we are holding until we imagine someone else trying to pick it up. They may not know which doctor to call. They may not know where the insurance card is. They may not know which appointment is coming up next. They may not know which bill is urgent, which one is already being handled, and which one can wait. And that is what I want to talk about in this video. Not in a scary way, and not in a you need to have everything perfect way. Just in a practical, honest way. Could someone else step in if you couldn't? When you are helping a parent over time, certain things become second nature. You know which appointments matter most, which office is hard to reach, which papers are current, and which phone calls are still unfinished. You know the small details that are hard to explain because they are part of the everyday routine. And sometimes, without meaning to, you become the only person who understands the whole picture. I think that is especially easy when you are the person closest to the situation. For me, I am single and I live with my mother. So there are certain things I see, hear, notice, and remember simply because I am here. That does not mean I have everything figured out. It just means proximity can quietly turn into responsibility. And that can happen in a lot of families. Maybe you live with your parent. Maybe you live nearby. Maybe you are the one with the flexible schedule. Maybe you are the one your parent trusts most. Or maybe you answered the phone one day, and little by little, more things started landing on you. It can start with one appointment, one bill, one phone call, one reminder, and one decision. Before you know it, you are not just helping here and there. You have become the person who knows where everything stands. That is not a bad thing, but it can become fragile when no one else knows enough to help. Because life happens to the helper too. You can get sick, have surgery, lose your phone, have car trouble, have your own appointment, or simply need a break. And when that happens, the question becomes very real. Could someone else step in? This is where I think there is a difference between having information and having context. You may have your parent's doctor written down somewhere, but would someone know which doctor is most important right now? You may have a folder with papers in it, but would someone know what is current, what is outdated, and what still needs attention? You may have bills sitting in one place, but would someone know which one is being reviewed, which one is due soon, and which one has already been paid? You may have a calendar, but would someone know which appointment cannot be missed? That is the part we sometimes overlook. A backup person does not need every detail in your head, but they do need enough context to avoid starting from zero. This is not about replacing you, giving everybody access to everything, or handing over control. It is about making sure that if you are unavailable, even temporarily, there is a path someone else can follow. A simple way to think about it is this. Who are the people? What are the priorities? And what is the path? First, the people. If someone had to help your parent for a few days, who would they need to contact? Not every person your parent has ever spoken to, just the key people. The main doctor, the pharmacy, any specialist involved right now, a nearby family member, neighbor, or trusted helper, and the person who should be contacted first if something serious happens. This is not about creating a giant contact book. It is about giving someone a starting point, because during stressful moments, time and clarity matter. Second, the priorities. If someone stepped in today, what would they need to know first? Not everything, just what matters soon. Is there an appointment coming up? Is there a medication refill that cannot wait? Is there a bill due this week? Is there paperwork already in progress? Is there something your parent needs help remembering every day? This is where you can ask yourself, what would be confusing if I were not here to explain it? Sometimes the most important information is not the thing sitting in the folder. It is the thing you have been carrying quietly in your mind. Third, the path. If someone had to step in, where would they begin? Where is the folder? Where is the appointment information? Where are the important phone numbers? What needs attention, and what should they not worry about right away? A path does not have to be fancy. It could be a one-page note, a shared document, a clearly labeled folder, or a note in your phone that you review every so often. The format matters less than the clarity. The goal is for someone to look at it and say, okay, I may not know everything, but I know where to start. That is a very different feeling from panic. And I know some people may hear this and think, well, nobody else is going to help anyway. I understand that. Not every family has a strong support system. Not every sibling shows up. Not every situation is simple. But even then, this question still matters. A backup plan is not always about having a perfect backup person. Sometimes it is about reducing confusion if someone has to assist with even one task, one appointment, one phone call, or one short gap. The point is not to build an ideal situation overnight. The point is to stop leaving the whole picture locked inside one person. And for many adult children, that one person is you. Another reason this topic matters is because we can confuse being dependable with being the only one who knows everything. Being dependable, thoughtful, and organized is good. But being the only bridge between your parent and everything they need can become heavy. It can make it hard to rest, hard to handle your own life, and hard to step away without feeling guilty. It can make you feel like if you do not answer the phone, the whole system might fall apart. And that is a lot for one person to carry. So this question is not just about your parent, it is also about you. If the answer is no, that does not mean you have failed. It just means there is a gap, and gaps can be addressed one at a time. One thing you can try is a simple step-in test. Imagine that tomorrow you could not help for 48 hours. What would another person need to know? Who should they call first? What is coming up soon? Where is the important information? What needs attention right away? What can wait? What would someone else misunderstand without your explanation? You do not have to answer all of that perfectly. Just write down what comes to mind. That first version may be messy. That is okay. Messy is still better than invisible, because once it is written down, you can improve it. You can add a phone number, remove old information, make a note about what is urgent, clarify where a document is, and tell one trusted person where to find it. That is how a step-in plan starts. Not with a giant binder, an all-day project, or a perfect system. It starts with making the invisible visible. Now, I do want to say something about privacy and boundaries. Having a step-in plan does not mean you have to give everyone access to private information. You can decide what is appropriate to share. You can separate general instructions from sensitive paperwork. You can write down where something is located without handing it to everyone. You can keep financial details protected. This is not about opening up your parents' personal life to the whole family. It is about making sure that the right person, in the right situation, has enough information to help responsibly. And when legal, medical, or financial authority is involved, that is where proper documents and professional guidance matter. But even outside of formal authority, basic context can still help. A note like, "This appointment is important," or "This bill is being reviewed," or "This folder has the current information," can save someone from guessing. And sometimes, it can save you from having to be the instruction manual all the time. Because being the instruction manual all the time is exhausting. So maybe this week, the goal is not to organize your parents' whole life. Maybe the goal is just to create one simple step-in note. A note that says, "If I could not help for a few days, here are the first things someone would need to know. Who to call, what is coming up, where important information is located, what needs attention now, what can wait." That is enough to begin. And if you already have tools, systems, folders, apps, notebooks, calendars, or any other method that helps you manage things for your parent, I would love for you to leave a comment and share what has been working for you. Sometimes the most helpful ideas come from people who are actually living this in real life. And if you need a place to start, I have a free Parent Affairs Starter Kit available through the website linked in the description. You do not have to do all of this at once. You do not have to have a perfect plan or explain every detail today. But it may be worth asking the question, could someone else step in if you couldn't? And if the answer is not yet, that is not a reason to panic. It is simply a place to begin. Because helping a parent is already a lot, and you deserve a little more support around the role you are carrying.